everyone, I'm Rita Kakati-Shah, your host for the YUPP Show. Welcome to your one-stop journey for feeling empowered. We're a platform for change, we build confidence, we are your voice. We want you to be bold, be you, be YUPP. Today, we're exploring women supporting women, and I'm so excited to be joined by a goddess of go-getting who is here from Chicago, Jyoti, and she's an executive editor at Chai Mamas. Welcome, Jyoti, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. So tell us about your background and how you grew up.
Oh, so I actually grew up in California, but now I actually live in Chicago. Yeah, so I was born and raised in LA, and come from an Indian, Punjabi, and Burmese background. My family's mostly from Burma, and I've always been into creative ventures and writing, and I did stand-up comedy for several years. And now I have two little babies. They're 2 and 4, and they are my world, and they are so sweet. And I still do comedy, and I'm writing my first book, and I'm doing all my comedy online now, thanks to the pandemic. And I grew up with a really, first generation American family. My parents were, very culturally Burmese and Indian, and we were very culturally American, and we had that very, that where do we sit as this new generation of humans that have like our Indian at home and American at school. And so that's really how we grew up. And I grew up with 2 older brothers, and I have a really close relationship with my entire family.
That's such a great story. So talk to us a little bit about your education. What did you study and your career choices?
Yeah, so I actually started off college pre-med. So I was, had the path to go to medical school. And it was more of a obligation to go to medical school due to just cultural obligation. And I felt like that was like the only thing we could do for some reason. And in my second year of school, I ended up switching my major to creative writing. So I was writing for screen and stage. I was mostly doing playwriting, and I had a couple things performed. My parents got to see where my talents lied. So after I finished my undergrad in creative writing, I ended up doing a master's in creative writing, writing for young adults and children. So focusing more on the adolescent. And the book I'm writing now is actually a young adult graphic novel. So it touches upon both of my expertise that I got in undergrad as well as my graduate, because I'm writing for the young adult, but I'm using formatting from screen and stage, which translates really easily into graphic novel. That's what I did for school. I took a long break while I was having my babies, and I couldn't stay away from the page, and I jumped right back into writing and creating the minute my daughter was in my uterus, my second daughter. I mean, my second child. Like, I was pregnant, and I was like, I have to do something. I have to do this creative. It's like this burning inside of me that I have to be creative. It's the only time I feel authentic.
And when you feel that calling, you have to just go for it. So how did you get into comedy?
So comedy, I lived in LA, and I was out in like the Hollywood area, Studio City, and I just kind of fell into it. I was like, I want to try it. And then, I was fearless, and everything creative I wanted to dive into. I did improv training at Groundlings in LA. And that led into, actually, that was after I did stand up. But either way, there was a lot of different overlapses of like writing with acting and comedy when you're out in the industry. And I decided to give it a shot, and I went to open mics, and it turned into something for a while, and until I decided to leave LA, which I never thought I would do. But I did leave LA to get married. My husband was out in New York at the time, and I made a conscious decision that was where I needed to be. And then I was like, I could pick this up later, and I am, so, which is kind of cool.
Fabulous. I love that. So how did that then go on to starting your journey with Chai Mamas?
Yeah, so I actually I'm an influencer on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Mama Jotes, and I create funny content with a mission to make people smile. So I ended up meeting Shraddha from the Chai Mamas on Instagram. We ended up talking. We ended up gaining this online friendship, and I love the Chai Mamas. I have been following the Chai Mamas prior to even having children. They were, this team of women broke so many boundaries and called out so many stigmas when nobody was doing it. This was before it was like a common thing that was being done on the internet. Like, so they were the pioneers really of opening conversations. And I always was so amazed. They actually, the Chai Mamas team, the original Chai Mamas team, which was actually the four, Shraddha, Reena, Nisha, and Pooja, they were part of my inspiration of starting my blogging career as Mama Jotes. Because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is something like I want to like share my story and my ventures and all of that. And I was, it kind of sparked more of my creativity into that angle, which has led to what I am now. And so when Zabina and I had started an organization called Happy Her, we realized that our mission was so aligned with the Chai Mamas, and Shraddha and I had become such good friends that I was like, why are we doing the same thing in two different sides? Like, why don't we just do it together? So we just banded forces, and Sabina and I joined the Chai Mamas and brought what we, could bring to the table for that. And now we're just one whole collective, trying, with the mission to elevate women, inspire women, bring South Asian women together and have conversations, bring brown voices to the forefront through our blogs and all of that.
What a journey. Thank you for sharing that. And it's amazing how people just come together. Sometimes the stars align, voices align, you are after the same mission, you believe in that same sisterhood. So it's great how that's come together. So in life, we know that challenges happen a lot. Can you talk to us perhaps about a personal challenge that you faced and how you overcame it?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I've had a lot of personal challenges in the last decade or so. But if we speak about one personal challenge, it's more like in current times, is the balance between doing our ambitious ventures. And because I have this like deep fire, this deep ambition to write this book, do the Chai Mamas, do the influencer thing, yet I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. I don't have a nanny. I have a very actively participating husband. I have a father, right? Like my husband is a full-time father as well as a full-time physician. And there is always that underlying guilt of, am I doing too much that I'm taking away from them? And I guess that would be a big challenge for me to face, because always trying to find like the balance of satisfying this creative need and this venture and this dream, right? There's this dream that we have as the Chai Mamas and as individuals. And then also realizing that I need to take time away to really enjoy and embrace these babies. Like they're so little and they're not going to be little for long. So that is a huge challenge. I'm doing pretty good at it right now at this moment, but it varies from literally week to week. I'm blessed to have the support system that I have, which is really like my husband and my in-laws. And right now my parents are visiting right when I need them to. And, so and I think it's a common challenge between a lot of mothers who are trying to balance a work and dreams, and as well as children. And sometimes I feel like it's a little bit hard for me, because it's not as if my creative venture is our financial pillar in this house, right? So you have to see the value in it without the financial aspect of it, right? It doesn't pay out immediately. You don't get paid to write this book. And it's that thing of waking up every morning and being like, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. So I actually found the balance by waking up at 5 a.m. and I write for 2 hours before my kids wake up, so that I can spend Monday through Thursday fully invested with them. And then Friday through Sunday working on my blog stuff while my husband is fully invested with the kids.
So the way you've structured your day is how you're making it work for you. So I love the way you're trying to find that balance in the work that you do. But I can also imagine that also having the sisterhood of Chai Mamas is very important for you as well. Can you share a personal impact specifically that Chai Mamas has in your life?
Yeah, I mean, having this group of women that are equally ambitious and equally have these similar goals in mind to lean on, who are also going through the same thing. Like Shraddha is a full-time working mom at home with 2 kids, and she's going through the same thing. And Zabina is a full-time working mom who has her own business. And same with Pooja and Reena and Nisha, and everyone is really just trying to find a way to achieve our dream as the Chai Mamas of creating this massive sisterhood for South Asian women, where we're bringing us together. And, we lean on each other a lot. Like, especially when it comes to, we're trying, we try to be very understanding, even when there's a task at hand that needs to be completed by, maybe it's on me to complete, and I'm having one of those days with the kids. Everyone's been there. You're just like in over your head. You're eating cookies in the pantry. You literally cried 3 times, and you're just like, I can't do anything today. And that's when you can text the team and be like, guys, I really needed to get this blog post up today. I can't do it. Who can anyone help? And everyone jumps up to help. Everyone's like, no, wait, no, we get it. We've been there. Like, we got you. And it's like this beautiful sisterhood where we're just like holding each other up, and we can lean on each other at any time, at any given moment. So it truly is that feeling of sisterhood.
And such an incredible feeling of having that network where somebody understands you. You don't even have to speak at times, and people just understand what you're saying. So in your really, truly busy day, your 5 a.m. starts all the way to midnight practically. How do you find time, and what do you do to unwind?
Yeah, so I actually never stay up till midnight. So I will tell you, the one thing that I cannot let go of is my sleep. If I don't sleep 7 to 8 hours, I don't function well, and I become a very cranky person. So the first thing is I make sure I sleep trained both my kids. I felt like that was really important for me to have like a mental health balance, because if I'm with them at 2 a.m. every night, I'm gonna lose my stuff. I won't curse on this. And so sleep training was really important to us. So we took it very seriously. Like from 3 months till now. So it's, there's no like staying up past bedtime at this house unless it's an earned treat. So once we put them to bed, my husband usually gets off at 6. The minute he gets off, I go up and I allow myself to do about an hour to 2 of work. I want to be off all devices by 8 p.m. at the latest. Sometimes I'm on my phone for fun, not for work. And that's a little bit different. And I'm okay with that. But that's my time. Like, my time is to unwind at 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I read my book. I read a lot. I love reading South Asian authors. I love supporting other South Asian authors. So I'll read, or sometimes I'll catch up with a girlfriend, or my husband and I will put on a show. And that's how we really unwind. Another really big thing for me with unwinding is my skincare routine. I'm so big on it. Like, I will never skip my morning skincare or my evening skincare. And it's just like this 15 minutes of like me time that, I know it sounds so crazy, but there's something about the routine and the regimen of doing it every single day. And this, like, the motions of it become therapeutic to me. So that's a really big part of my, my self-care and me time. And lastly, having my coffee before my kids wake up. So because I'm up at 5 a.m., I get to have this like cup of coffee, and I invested in one of those mugs that stays hot, so I don't never have to microwave it. And that, like, in itself is like the best thing ever.
It's the little things, isn't it?
It is so the little things. Like, there's really not much that I need except a nice hot cup of coffee before they wake up.
Yeah, hot cup of coffee, that routine and that regimen, that kind of daily mantra that you built for yourself. Brilliant stuff. Before we let you go, what advice would you give to your younger self about to go through the motherhood journey again?
Okay, so I would tell myself to have a little more faith in myself and trust that, like, my intuition a little bit more. I had, faced a lot of insecurities early on, like before getting pregnant, and, a lot of anxiety, a lot of, unstableness, unsureness. I wasn't sure of myself. I didn't have confidence. I lacked a lot of confidence. And I think if I gave myself a little more of the benefit of the doubt, and wasn't so hard on myself all the time back then, I don't know. I don't know what would have been different, but I just know that I would have, and maybe been a little more peaceful and enjoyed it a little bit more, because now that I have that confidence where I know, like, it's rare that I'm questioning how I'm parenting. I just know that I'm doing my best, and that's the best I can do. So that's really what I would tell myself, is like, trust yourself a little bit more, like, trust your intuition. You know more than you give yourself credit for, and you allow yourself to grow into that and feel that. So.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Jyoti, for sharing your incredible story with us today. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on this empowerment journey. We want you all to embrace that inner goddess of go-getting. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma.